And now, Lictus Oil and Propane and Climber presents Climber Sherman Panama Wolfpack Baseball play-by-play coverage on the Channel 98.9 Sports Stream at channel989.org. This broadcast is presented by Countertop Solutions, Caflisch Pallet and Wood Supply, Triple E Manufacturing, Necker's Company General Store, Daniels Electric and Flicks Heating and Plumbing, Troyer's Greenhouse, by Stone Audiology, by Whiteland Surveying, J.H. Napa Auto Parts, Mosher Carpeting, J. Edwards Insurance, Utegg's Body Shop, by Lictus Oil and Propane, and Tina Dills, ERA Team VP Licensed Real Estate Agent. And now let's head to the field for all the action of CSP Wolfpack Baseball play-by-play. And now, Lictus Oil and Propane and Climber presents Climber Sherman Panama Wolfpack Baseball play-by-play coverage on the Channel 98.9 Sports Stream at channel989.org. This broadcast is presented by Countertop Solutions, Caflisch Pallet and Wood Supply, Triple E Manufacturing, Necker's Company General Store, Daniels Electric and Flicks Heating and Plumbing, Troyer's Greenhouse, by Stone Audiology, by Whiteland Surveying, J.H. Napa Auto Parts, Mosher's Carpeting, J. Edwards Insurance, Utegg's Body Shop, by Lictus Oil and Propane, and Tina Dills, ERA Team VP Licensed Real Estate Agent. And now let's head to the field for all the action of CSP Wolfpack Baseball play-by-play.
And welcome into a beautiful Saturday morning here in Pine Valley as the Wolfpack visit the Panthers for another CCAA Division II matchup. This is the second game in 8 days for the Wolfpack, assuming the weather allows them to get all those games in. And they are on a roll, winning 5 straight coming into today's game. And Pine Valley 0-8, 0-7 in league coming into this matchup. For the Wolfpack today, we'll go through the lineup quickly, and then we'll get to the game action here in about 7 or 8 minutes. Leading off and pitching will be Gavin Burchanowski. Hitting second, playing first base, will be Bryce Hinsdale. Hitting third and playing shortstop will be Tate Katniss. Hitting fourth and playing third base will be Andrew Spiesman. Hitting fifth and playing center field will be Isaiah Burkholder. Hitting sixth and catching will be Max White. Hitting seventh and playing left field will be Brady Phelps. Hitting eighth and playing right field will be Caleb Anderson. And hitting ninth and playing second base will be Johnny Abers. So Gavin Burchanowski on the bump for the Pack today in a league matchup, but a non-class matchup, as Pine Valley is a D school. So this one doesn't help them with the C playoff rankings, but it does help them with the league standings. And so the Wolfpack certainly not going to just mess around today. They'll take this one seriously, as they do all the games going down the stretch here. But Burchanowski on the bump, as opposed to one of the seniors, Hinsdale or Katniss. And Katniss obviously pitching yesterday was not eligible. So Frewsburg last night picked up a win against Maple Grove. They'll head to Springville in a non-league matchup tonight. They are 9-1, 8-0, leading CCAA Division II. Brockton and CSP in tight pursuit, both at 5-1 in league. And it will end up being a very fun last couple weeks of the season here for Section 6 baseball, particularly here in the Southern Tier, where rain has compacted the schedule so much that these teams are going to have to play all these games really, really quickly. A team like CSP is going to have to go deep into their pitching rotation and maybe even see some guys pitch who don't normally get an opportunity to. I know I was just speaking with Andrew Spiesman's dad, and there's a chance he may see some time on the mound here in the next couple of days. Not a thing he's really done since Little League. But Spies has been getting some time in on the mound in practice, and you never know, we might see him on the mound here in the next couple days. The Wolfpack make the trip up here, the hour-long bus ride, and after that nice win last night at Chautauqua Lake, where really they could do no wrong, they will have an opportunity now to do it again today against the Pine Valley Panthers. And it's a big day today for the 98.9 Sports Stream as well. We're here today in Pine Valley for this one, and when this ends, tune in about 4 o'clock today for the State Line Speedway Pit Road Show, which I'll be also presenting. That'll go from 4 to 5:30 today, normally 5 to 6:30, but today they're starting early over at the racetrack, so we'll be on an hour early. And then join us every day for the rest of the week, with the exception of Sunday, for CSP Baseball. We'll be on Monday through Saturday, weather permitting, covering the Wolfpack's week of games here on the 98.9 Sports Stream. So we're going to take another quick break here and hear some of our sponsors who we wouldn't be able to provide this program to you without. And then we'll come back and get some baseball going here in South Dayton. I'm Josh Hosier, and this is the 98.9 Sports Stream.
Utegg's Body Shop in Corry is helping to bring you this broadcast. Along with collision repair and refinishing, Utegg offers frame straightening services. Located at 633 East Smith Street in Corry. Utegg's Body Shop.
Man, I loved playing high school sports growing up. And it's fun being a fan now, don't get me wrong, but sitting in the stands feels like I'm missing out on all the action, you know? I wanted to get back in the game, so I signed up to be a high school official. It takes me back to my playing days. I'm supporting students, and I get paid to make the big calls. Do you want to see the game up close? Sign up to become an official in New York at highschoolofficials.com.
Support for coverage of CSP baseball action on the Channel 98.9 Lictus Oil and Propane Sports Stream comes from JH Napa Auto Parts. Your local Napa store stocks auto parts, tools and equipment, and other items for heavy-duty trucks, marine, and farming equipment. Located at 955 North Center Street in Corry and NapaOnline.com.
Funding for this Channel 98.9 Sports Stream broadcast comes from Lictus Oil and Propane in Clymer. Family-owned Lictus Oil and Propane continues to supply liquids and fluids for agriculture, industry, and homeowners. Heating oil and propane services and off-and-on diesel fuel services are also offered. The Channel 98.9 Sports Stream thanks Lictus Oil and Propane for their continued support.
Welcome back into South Dayton, New York. A 11 p.m. first pitch is the schedule, but I think we're going to get started just a few minutes early here, as that was the intentions of everyone about 15 minutes ago when I spoke with the officials. Umpire having a conversation with both head coaches as we get ready to get started. And again, Gavin Burchanowski will be on the mound today for the Wolfpack as the second place team in CCAA Division II takes on the 8th place team as the Wolfpack and Pine Valley prepare to tangle here today. Interesting game yesterday for the Wolfpack. Recap that one. A 10-0 victory over Chautauqua Lake. A 7-run second inning, which included a hit by pitch, several walks, a couple hits, and stolen bases galore. That inning propelled the Wolfpack to coast to victory after that, really. They were able to get pretty much everyone into the game. Actually, everyone did play, and it was a good opportunity for them, for some young guys to get some learning opportunities. So after that game, now the Wolfpack will pivot and face Pine Valley today. Pine Valley's field, a little bit of a shorter baseball field, not a huge reach to get to the fence, so potential for a few potential home runs today. But the other thing that's notable is the backstop, much like yesterday at Chautauqua Lake, about the same kind of angle to the backstop, so it's going to be interesting to see if the ball gets away from the catcher. If it takes a bounce off the backstop, it could ricochet down the baseline as well. So dugouts have entry from the far side, not the near side. A little different than most fields, so you can't actually see the teams from where I'm sitting at home plate. So we talked about the fact that the Wolfpack has been on this 5-game winning streak, and if we take a minute and flip it over to the Class C standings, because that's really how the playoffs are going to be determined, the Wolfpack find themselves in an interesting situation. They are now 5-2 overall, 5-1 in league. That puts them third in Class C, behind Frewsburg and Gowanda. Frewsburg 9-1, 8-0, and Gowanda 12-2, 10-0. Those two teams stand out away from the rest of the pack. Faulkner, who started off really hot, has settled down just a little bit. They're 7-2, 6-2, just behind CSP. Then in 5th is Westfield, 6th is Barker, 7th Portville, 8th Chautauqua Lake, 9th Maple Grove, 10th Randolph, 11th Cassadaga Valley, 12th Cat Little Valley, 13th Holland, and 14th Western New York Maritime. Really what you're looking at here is how does the Class C teams finish up their season, both in league and out of league, to get ready for the postseason. So you're going to play this many games in a week. You have to make sure your pitching's ready for it. You don't want to ride a kid too hard or not give them enough and then find yourselves in the playoffs with pitchers who aren't ready. Looks like the conversation at the mound has come to an end now, and we're going to get ready to get this thing started. Another quick word from our sponsors here on the 98.9 Sports Stream, and then we'll have some baseball.
Funding for this Channel 98.9 Sports Stream broadcast comes from Lictus Oil and Propane in Clymer. Family-owned Lictus Oil and Propane continues to supply liquids and fluids for agriculture, industry, and homeowners. Heating oil and propane services and off-and-on diesel fuel services are also offered. The Channel 98.9 Sports Stream thanks Lictus Oil and Propane for their continued support.
Financial support for this broadcast of CSP Baseball Play-by-Play on the Channel 98.9 Sports Stream is provided in part by Stone Audiology at 709 East Columbus Avenue in Corry. Also in Bradford, Northeast, and Kane, Pennsylvania. In Jamestown, Olean, Belmont, and Chaffee, New York. Phone 814-664-7070. Online at stoneaudiology.com.
CSP Wolfpack Baseball coverage on the Channel 98.9 Lictus Oil and Propane Sports Stream is brought to you in part by Troyer's Greenhouse, now open for the season Monday through Saturday. Troyer's Greenhouse is located at 1669 Weeks Road, just 2 miles west of Panama. Go Wolfpack from Troyer's Greenhouse.
Coverage of Wolfpack Baseball on the Channel 98.9 Sports Stream is provided in part by Whiteland Surveying in Clymer, providing land surveys for Chautauqua and Cattaraugus counties in New York and Erie, Warren, and Crawford counties in Pennsylvania. Phone 716-499-8410. Find them online at mwhitepls.com. The Channel 98.9 Sports Stream thanks Whiteland Surveying for their support.
Welcome back in here to South Dayton. Cam Howard, the pitcher for the Panthers, finishing up his warm-up pitches to get this thing started. Howard, the sophomore, will pitch to the Wolfpack here as we get ready to get this going. And as I mentioned, Gavin Burchanowski will pitch for the Wolfpack today. He'll lead off as well. So top of the lineup for the Wolfpack here in the first, Burchanowski, Hinsdale, Catneys. And it looks like Howard will take his final pitch or two here, and we'll be able to get this thing started. That one's stuck in the backstop, and we'll watch the backstop for that. If something gets stuck like that, could potentially be trouble for a catcher. Here's the throwdown, so we're ready to get this thing started. So Burchanowski, he will be the leadoff man once again, as he has been all season. He went 2 for 3 yesterday with a single and a double. He'll come up to the plate now to get this one started here in South Dayton. The Pack 5-game winning streak coming into the day. First pitch of the game is a ball outside. They'll try to extend that 5-game winning streak here against Pine Valley. The 0-8 Panthers trying to get their first win of the season. The 1-0. High. Count now 2-0. Here's the pitch. High again. And Burchanowski quickly ahead 3-0 on the count. We know Gavin is a patient batter. A lot of walks already this season. Walked a few times back against Casadega and Maple Grove. Here's the 3-0 pitch to him. That one he lets go by for strike one. And it was lower in the zone, and he thought, well, let's just see if it goes ball. Smart thinking there by the batter, and it's 3-1. Burchanowski awaiting the pitch. Howard delivers, swung on and fouled off, and the count goes full. So now Gavin will have the opportunity for the full count payoff pitch. Cam Howard turns and delivers. Burchanowski swings on it, hits it towards center field. Center fielder backing up, now turning and making the catch. First out of the inning there with a fly out to deep center by Burchanowski. Hinsdale now still hitting over 500 for the year. Now you tell me that you're going to have a guy at this point in the season when you have him come up to bat and he's going to get a hit half the time, and by the way has 7 walks, you'll take it all day. The lefty ready to go now. Howard to pitch to him. That one's outside for ball 1. Howard gets his sign. The 1-0 to Bryce Hinsdale. That one falls in for strike 1. Bryce wanted to see it, and he definitely just watched that one come through. No intentions of swinging there. 1-1 the count. The pitch. Outside strike, right on the outside edge. Makes the count 1-2 to Hinsdale. So a deep fly out for Burchanowski, and now a 1-2 count for Bryce Hinsdale. Howard turns and delivers. Bryce swings on it. He gets a piece. It's going to bounce around, and nobody there to get it. He'll get to first safely. And I'm not even sure who was responsible for that ball, and defensively it probably was the pitcher, Howard. But regardless, it kind of bounced into no man's land, and Bryce is aboard. That'll bring up Tate Catney's hitting in the 3 spot. Tate playing shortstop today after a very nice pitching performance yesterday. And I have to apologize to Tate. I believe I did say that the one error in the 4th yesterday may have been a hit. It was not. And he did go 5-inning no-hit performance against Chautauqua Lake. Now he'll try to use his bat to help the Wolfpack. First pitch to him is a ball, and Hinsdale takes off. He's safe at second. And Bryce was running no matter what happened there. And I think everyone on the Pine Valley side knew he was running, but there was nothing they could do to stop it. Cam Howard now with a 1-0 count to Tate Catney's and a runner on second. Checks his runner, and here's the pitch. High for ball 2, and there goes Hinsdale to third. So now Tate has a chance to score a run for the Wolfpack here. He steps in with a 2-0 count, 1 out, runner on third, and Spiesman on deck. Here's the pitch. Swung on, hit towards right field. It's going to fall in there for a base hit, and that's an RBI single for Tate Catney's. Nice little piece of hitting there from Tate, and Hinsdale scores, and that'll bring up Spiesman with a runner on first. Andrew Spiesman has been an absolute RBI machine this year for the Wolfpack. Added another one yesterday, and a 2-hit performance, 2 doubles for him yesterday, and he reached by error as well. Catney's leads off first. Howard pitches to Spiesman. That pitch is called strike 1. One nothing Wolfpack here. Here's the pitch. High ball, and Catney's takes off for second. They throw it over his head. He'll be there safely. So now Spiesman has a runner in scoring position. One the count. Here's the pitch. Spiesman turns and fouls it off over the visiting dugout. A little bit behind that one. If he straightens that one out, it might go a mile. So now 1-2 to the senior. Howard checks the runner. Here's the pitch. Outside for a ball. Count now even at 2-2. So a fly out for Burchanowski, a single for Hinsdale, stolen bases, 2 of them, and then a single for Catney scores Hinsdale. And now Spiesman swings on that one. He's going to foul it off down the left field side. And Catney's a single did score Hinsdale, and he stole second. And that brings us to Spiesman, who is in a 2-2 count, about to face the 6th pitch of the at-bat. Howard checks the runner. Here's the pitch. Spiesman turns on it, hits it high in the air towards center. Center fielder tracking it, and he makes the catch. So Spiesman got underneath that one. I think it wasn't exactly what he was looking for, and he lifts it to center field for the second out.
All right, Zay, let's go, buddy.
That'll bring up Isaiah Burkholder. Burkholder yesterday was 1 for 2 with 2 walks and a single. Not a bad stat line there. And we know he's a patient batter. Don't be surprised if he gets up early in the count here. Howard checks the runner. Here's the pitch. And he almost hits Burkholder. Katniss takes off for third. He's there easily. Ball one. That pitch was very close to hitting Isaiah Burkholder. So now 1-0 with a runner on third and 2 outs here in the first. 1-0 Wolfpack. That pitch called strike on the outside half. 1-1. One and one count to Isaiah Burkholder. Howard's pitch, high for ball two. This is absolutely the baseball weather you hope for. Unfortunately, it's after 2 weeks of rain and not getting any games in. Here's the pitch. Called strike. That one must have caught the bottom outside corner. I did not think it was in the zone, but it must have just caught. Count is 2-2. Here's the pitch. Burkholder fouls it off. He'll stay alive for another pitch. So the Wolfpack forcing Howard to throw quite a few pitches here. And that's another big thing that they do as a group when they bat. They're very patient batters. And almost every at bat is a 5, 6, 7 pitch at bat. This will be pitch number 6 of this at bat for Burkholder. That one's low for ball 3. So now pitch 7 of the at bat. Howard delivers. Burkholder swings and misses. And the inning is over, but not before the Wolfpack get the first run of the game. We'll be back after a quick word from our sponsors here on the 98.9 Sports Stream.
Funding for this Channel 98.9 Sports Stream broadcast comes from Lictus Oil and Propane and Clymer. Family-owned Lictus Oil and Propane continues to supply liquids and fluids for agriculture, industry, and homeowners. Heating oil and propane services and off-and-on diesel fuel services are also offered. The Channel 98.9 Sports Stream thanks Lictus Oil and Propane for their continued support.
When the game is on the line, championship teams know the game plan. They communicate and work together to win. We all need a game plan to protect ourselves online. Talk to family and friends so they know how to stay safe too. Create strong passwords, turn on multi-factor authentication, update software, and recognize and report phishing, because online safety is not something you want to fumble. Get more game-winning tips at cisa.gov/secure-our-world. Then share them with family and friends.
Support for CSP Wolfpack baseball coverage is provided in part by Tina Dills, ERA Team VP licensed real estate agent, serving the Wolfpack listening area and all of Chautauqua County with real estate services for buyers, sellers, vacation rentals, and all relocation needs. For more information on how to get your move going, Tina can be reached at 716-397-7790. Tina Dills and the ERA Team VP agents wish the Wolfpack the best of luck.
Corry's only locally operated radio station is Channel 98.9. With your eerie weather, your favorite personalities.
Thank you so much for joining us on a Monday.
You see today local news, entertainment, and information around the clock. And Corry's modern rock. Channel 98.9, your one radio station.
Welcome back in here to a 1-0 Wolfpack lead over Pine Valley as we head to the bottom of the first. And Gavin Berchanowski ready to get his start underway, as the Panthers will get ready to get their first chance with the bats today. Leading off for them will be Cameron Slade, and anyone who's a CSP fan who followed football knows Cam Slade is an absolute athlete. And first pitch to him there. Absolute athlete, as I said, Cam Slade, and he plays a very tough method of sports. That pitch inside for a ball. Nothing but nice things to say about some of these athletes here from Pine Valley that have competed against CSP and other sports. Berchanowski's pitch above the batter's head for a ball. 3-0 the count. Burchanowski going to have to throw one in the zone. Slade shows bunt, pulls it back, and he'll walk. So Slade will go down to first after the walk, and that'll bring up number 5, Jared Myers. Jarrett Myers, the junior. And Burchanowski will check Slade at first. Here's the pitch. Low for ball 1. A very hard pitch there from Burchanowski. Maybe the fastest I've seen him throw in a game situation yet this season. The 1-0 from Burchanowski. Called strike on the outside half, and it's 1-1. Jarrett Myers, and the runner takes off. That's Slade. The throw gets away from Johnny Abers, so the runner will be safe. Nice throw from Max White there. Tried to get him. But it was just a little bit above and behind the runner, and Abers bobbled it. 2-1 the count now to Myers. The pitch, swung on and missed, and the count goes to 2-2. Here's the pitch from Burchanowski. Swung on, hit in the air. Tracking it is Abers, but the wind is also blowing, and he falls down, doesn't have the baseball. That one will fall in, and runners will now be on the corners. That one's going to be an error on Abers. But really blame the wind. Next batter. Runners on first and third. Trent Ivet, the senior. First pitch to him. High. There's the throw to second from Max White. That one a little closer, but it was cut off by Abers, and the runner is safe. So now runners on second and third. Trent Ivet, the senior. Good opportunity here. He fouls that one off. Ivet waits the pitch. There's Burchanowski's pitch, and he thought he had a corner, but he does not. Ball 2. (2-1) to Ivet with runners on second and third. No help from the umpire there, and the count goes to 3-1. Burchanowski winds and fires, swung on, hit deep to left field, and that one is going to be a problem all the way to the left field corner. Will score 2 runs for Pine Valley, and Ivet safely into third with a triple. Quickly 2-1 is the score now. And Howard now, the pitcher, will come up to bat next. Here's the pitch. Called strike. 2-1. Runner on third. That's Ivan who hit the triple. Called strike there. Quickly 0-2 in this at bat. The 0-2 pitch from Burchanowski. Low for a ball. 1-2 now. The pitch inside for ball 2. Howard steps back in. 2-2 count. Runner on third. No outs here in the first for Pine Valley. Burchanowski's pitch swung on, hit towards second. Fielded there by Abers. He'll get it to first. And the runner will score. That's Ivid. So first out of the inning there goes to Howard, but not before Ivid scores, and it's 3-1 Pine Valley. Up now is Caden Herman. That's the first pitch to him. Second pitch now to Herman. Outside for a ball. Burchanowski giving up 3 here in the first. Here's the pitch to Herman. High for a ball. The 3-0 count. And he'll walk Herman.
Sorry, buddy.
That'll bring up Jackson. Cyrus Jackson, the junior. And a mound visit from Coach Hare to talk to Gavin Burchanowski. Got to settle his sophomore pitcher down. Walked a batter, had a batter reach by error, then gave up a triple. Got a guy to ground out, and then walked another batter. So he needs just to settle in a bit here before things get away from him. Coach Hare, content with the conversation, he'll head back to the dugout. And we'll see if Burchanowski can settle in.
All right, Gav, rock and fire, bud.
Jackson stepping back into the box now. Cyrus shows bunt. He pulls it back as it's ball 1. Burchanowski ready now. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. Nice pitch there from Burchanowski, and the count's 1-1. Herman leading off first. Burchanowski checks the runner. Here's the pitch. Inside for ball 2. A 2-1 count now. The pitch. Swung on and missed. And the count now 2-2. 3-1 Pine Valley here in the bottom of the first. Burchanowski's pitch. High for ball 3, and the count goes full. Herman on first, 1 out. And there's the second out as he strikes out Jackson. Stewart, the next one up for Pine Valley. Finnegan Stewart, the junior. They come up with 2 outs and 1 on here. First pitch to him, a called strike. Burchanowski put that one right down Main Street. The 0-1 to Stewart. Swung on and missed, and it's 0-2. Now. There's the pitch. Fouled back. Here's Berchanowski's pitch. Swung at and a miss for Stewart. He'll go down swinging, and the side is retired. But not before 3 runs from Pine Valley. They lead 3-1 after 1 here on the 98.9 Sports Stream.
Funding for this Channel 98.9 Sports Stream broadcast comes from Lictus Oil and Propane in Clymer. Family-owned Lictus Oil and Propane continues to supply liquids and fluids for agriculture, industry, and homeowners. Heating oil and propane services and off-and-on diesel fuel services are also offered. The Channel 98.9 Sports Stream thanks Lictus Oil and Propane for their continued support.
Support for Wolfpack baseball coverage on the Channel 98.9 Sports Stream is provided by Countertop Solutions in Clymer. Go Wolfpack from Countertop Solutions.
CSP baseball coverage on the Channel 98.9 Sports Stream is provided in part by Steve Daniels Electric and Flicks Heating and Plumbing and Air Conditioning, located at 147 East Main Street in Corry. They offer residential and light commercial new services, as well as electrical repairs, well pumps, and water conditioning systems. Phone 814-665-6034. Online at flicksheatingplumbingandac.com.
School sports are played by humans, coached by humans, and officiated by humans. So the next time you're sitting in the stands at a school athletic event, please remember this and maintain your humanity, especially when it comes to judging and critiquing athletes, coaches, and officials. Please show your fellow humans some respect. They'll appreciate your empathy.
This message presented by NISFA and the New York State Athletic Administrators Association.
Coverage of CSP Wolfpack Baseball is brought to you in part by Caflisch Pallet and Wood Services in Clymer, a leading provider of new, heat-treated, and recycled pallets and wood services since 1993. Find them online at caflischpallet.com.
And welcome back in here to South Dayton, a 3-1 ball game as Pine Valley leads the Wolfpack after the first inning. And the Wolfpack will try to dig out of that hole here as they get the second underway. Max White leading off. He gets a piece of the first pitch right to center field, and a base knock for Max. He keeps the hot bat going. And maybe he needs to go on FFA trips every week, as since he got back from his FFA trip, he has been an absolute hitting machine for the Wolfpack.
All right, Brady, take it for
Brady
right,
Phelps now. The left fielder will step in with a runner on first. Wolfpack looking to immediately come right back at the Panthers here. Howard checks on White at first. He'll pitch it. Phelps takes that pitch for strike one, and the runner White is safe at second. Brady now behind 0-1 with a runner in scoring position. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed.
Nice cut, Brady.
0-2. Phelps yesterday walked once, flew out twice, and grounded out once. Trying to get his bat going here for the Pack. That pitch low for ball one. Max White certainly making enough noise on the base path to distract the catcher. They look at White at second. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed by Phelps. He'll head back to the dugout, and that'll bring up McCaleb Anderson.
All right, Howie, let's go, buddy.
Anderson, yesterday, only had one at bat. He was hit by a pitch, and then Mason Groders came on for him after that. They check White at second, make sure he's not going anywhere. And now Anderson will have his at bat. First pitch to him, low and out in the dirt. Nice block by the catcher, keeping that thing from getting away from him. The 1-0. Swung on by Anderson and missed. Count goes to 1-1. White take a lead off second. Here's the pitch. Down in the dirt again. Count now 2-1 for Anderson. There's a strike. And the count now 2-2. That one gets away from the catcher, and White will move up to third. Count now full for Anderson. Runner in scoring position, 1 out. Anderson a good chance here to try and tighten this game back up. Here's the pitch. Outside, and he'll walk. That'll bring up Johnny Abers. Johnny yesterday, interesting day for him. He reached by error in the second and then had a walk in later in the second and then struck out in the fifth.
Keep that bat alive, Johnny. Let's rock, buddy.
With the runners on the corners. First pitch to Abers. High for ball 1. Cam Howard trying to prevent himself from getting into too big of a jam here as he faced the 6, 7, 8, 9 batters so far, 9 being Abers. Top of the lineup ready to pounce if they can get a chance. Here's a pitch. High for ball 2. Anderson takes off. No throw from the catcher, and he's safe at second. Now 2 runners in scoring position. Abers ahead 2-0. Howard's pitch. High for ball 3. And Abers 1 pitch away now from loading the bases for the top of the lineup. The 3-0 pitch from Howard. High again. And Abers will trot down to first on the walk. So top of the lineup now for the Wolfpack with 1 out and bases loaded. Gavin Burchanowski flew out to deep center in the first inning. He'll see if he can extend this one another 20 feet and have a grand slam. Burchanowski steps in now with bases loaded. Here's the pitch. Swung on, hit down the third base line, played by the third baseman. His throw is well behind the runner and it gets past the first baseman. A second run will score. And Burchanowski trots over to second, having brought home 2 members of his team and tying the game. Bryce Hinsdale now, and as we mentioned in the first before he singled, he's hitting over 500 on the season. He comes up with runners in scoring position, 2 of them, and a chance to give the Wolfpack the lead. 3-3 ball game. Here's the pitch. Swung on and going to be a deep foul ball to the left side. Ball coming off the bat well for Hinsdale so far this season. The 0-1 to Bryce. Over his head. And the runner takes off and will be home safely as Abers. So the lead back to the Wolfpack now after that pitch, as it's 4-3 CSP. Burchanowski now on third, and Hinsdale still in a position to potentially drive in a run. Here's the pitch. Bryce turns on it, sends it high in the air, foul. So the count is 1-2. Couple of walks and a couple of singles have the Wolfpack back on top here in the second. The 1-2 to Hinsdale. High, and the count is now 2-2. Bryce back in the box, ready to go. Howard gets his sign. Here's the pitch. High and outside for ball 3, and the count is full. Full count to Bryce Hinsdale. The pitch outside. Bryce took a big cut at it, and he'll go back to the dugout. Strikeout there for Bryce. So 2 outs now in the second. Tate Catney is now at the plate. Tate singled in his last at bat, drove in Hinsdale. He has an opportunity to drive in Burchanowski here. First pitch to him, he swings on it, fouls it off. And the Wolfpack out in front of a lot of these pitches here from Cam Howard. 0-1 to Tate Catney's. Howard's ready. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed by Catney's, and it's 0-2. Here's the pitch. Fouled off, and Tate stays alive for now in this at-bat. Remaining 0-2. Wolfpack, 3 runs here in the second. Allow them to regain the lead 4-3. 2 outs, both strikeouts. Brady Phelps and Bryce Hinsdale. And now Catney's behind 0-2 with a runner on third. That's Burchanowski. Here's Howard's pitch. Catney's gets a piece of it towards second, and the second baseman drops it off the hop. He throws to first, not in time, and Tate is there safely. And home comes Burchanowski to extend the Wolfpack lead. Error on the second baseman allows Tate to reach first. And they'll advance him to second here, given a base. And I'm not sure what the reason the umpire gave for that. Base given to Tate, though, and he'll advance to second. And that'll bring up Andrew Spiesman. He flew out back in the first. First pitch to him, high for ball 1. Spiesman, another opportunity for an RBI with a runner in scoring position. Seems like that's all he gets, and he tends to deliver most of the time. 4-3 Wolfpack. 5-3 Wolfpack. It is 5-3. Apologies. They check the runner and keep Catney's at second. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. Catney's takes off. He's at third safely. And it's 1-1 now to Spiesman. Spiesman, a teammate now on third, a chance to drive in another RBI here. Howard's pitch almost hit Spiesman in the head. And it's 2-1. Howard checks the runner. That's Catney's at third. Now here's the pitch to Spiesman. Swung on. Hit towards right field. The right fielder tracking it. And he's tracking it and does not get it. It goes foul. That one falls foul by about 4 or 5 feet. Another long hit ball by Spiesman. That's the second one he's hit pretty far. Back in the first, he flew out to deep center. Two count to Spiesman. Howard's pitch. Swung on, fouled off again.
Stay alive, bud.
The Wolfpack senior now in his 6th pitch of the at-bat. He'll wait for Howard. Howard now ready. Here's the pitch. Spiesman swings, hits it towards the shortstop, fielded off the bounce. The throw to first is in time. And Spiesman is retired. But not before the Wolfpack rallies back and scores 4 to take the lead back 5-3 here at this ball game after 1.5 on the 98.9 Sports Stream.
Coverage of CSP Wolfpack Baseball is brought to you in part by Caflisch Pallet and Wood Services in Clymer, a leading provider of new heat-treated and recycled pallets and wood services since 1993. Find them online at caflischpallet.com. Phone 716-355-4354. Caflisch Pallet and Wood Services wishes the Wolfpack the best of luck this season.
Support for Wolfpack Baseball on the Lictus Oil and Propane Sports Stream is provided by Mosher Carpeting at 8631 East Main Street in Clymer. Mosher's has carpeting and all types of flooring, serving the area for over 27 years. Online at mosherscarpeting.com.
Support for coverage of CSP Baseball on the Channel 98.9 Lictus Oil and Propane Sports Stream is provided by Triple E Manufacturing in Sherman. Triple E offers equine products, promotional items, embroidery, and printing services. 800-295-4282 or online at tripleemanufacturing.com.
Wolfpack Baseball on the Channel 98.9 Lictus Oil and Propane Sports Stream is provided in part by Necker's Company General Store, providing Clymer with groceries, apparel, gift items, and so much more for over 100 years. The Channel 98.9 Sports Stream thanks Necker's Company General Store for their support. Funding for this broadcast on the Channel 98.9 Lictus Oil and Propane Sports Stream is provided in part by J. Edwards Insurance. With offices at 9 East Main Street in Panama and 800 West 3rd Street in Jamestown, J. Edwards Insurance is an independent insurance service providing auto, business, farm, and homeowners insurance. We treat you like family. Online at jedwardsinsurance.com. Best of luck to the Wolfpack this season from J. Edwards Insurance, serving New York and Pennsylvania since 1957.
Welcome back in here to this one. Bottom of the second, 5-3 Wolfpack. And a really nice offensive second inning for the second day in a row. First pitch here, outside for ball 1. Burchanowski winds and fires. Outside for ball 2. Here's the pitch, and he hits the batter. So Lucarelli will go down to first. And that'll bring up the 9-hitter. That's number 11, Aiden Bell. Bell with a runner on first. That's Lucarelli, who got hit by a pitch. First pitch to Bell, high for ball 1. After Bell, we go back to the top of the Panther lineup. That pitch low for ball 2. And Lucarelli probably could have made it to second pretty easily. There's that ball slipped past Max White, but the runner was not aware of the situation. So he stays at first, and it's 2-0 to Bell. Outside for ball 3. Burchanowski's pitch. Strike on the inside half. And it's 3-1 to Bell. High, and Bell will take the trot down to first. Top of the lineup now, Cameron Slade. He walked back in the first. He'll come on now with 2 on. And no out in the second. A 5-3 ball game here. Burchanowski set to deliver, and that one's high for ball 1. 2 walks in the first inning for Gavin. 1 walk and a hit pitcher or hit batter here so far in this inning. The 1-0 swung on and fouled back. We know from watching Gavin pitch earlier this season, once he settles in, he's a pretty good, solid strike throwing pitcher, but he has to settle in first, and so far struggling to do that here against the Panthers. That pitch high for ball 2. Here's the pitch. Swung on, hit high in the air. Foul. Two to Slade. Called strike, and Slade will head back to the dugout after being struck out there looking. That brings up Myers, who reached by error back in the first. Jarrett Myers will step in here with 1 out and 2 on. Pitch from Bershanowski. High for ball 1. Gavin winds and fires. Swung on, foul. And the count's 1-1. One count. Here's Berchanowski's pitch. Swung on, high in the air, foul. So Myers, 2 foul balls in a row. And the count's 1-2. The pitch. Ball number 2. Lucarelli on second, Bell on first. Myers facing a 2-2 count. Swings on that one, gets it over Berchanowski's head, fielded there by Abers. He'll flip to second for the out. So 2 away now. And that'll bring up Trent Ivitt. He hit a triple his last time up. He now has runners on the corners and 2 away here in the second. Here's the pitch. Swung on, hit up in the air, foul. Oh, 1 to Trent Ivitt. Berchanowski's pitch inside for ball 1. 1-1. Berchanowski winds and fires, swung on and missed for strike 2. A 1-2 count, 2 outs, 2 on for Ivitt. Berchanowski gets his sign. Here's the pitch, high. There's a throw down at second, and it's thrown to the left of the plate by White, and the runner, Myers, will be safe. Myers on second, Lucarelli on third. Here's the pitch, swung on. Up in the air, foul to the right side, not a play. Ivitt battling here against Berchanowski. This will be the 6th pitch of the at-bat. Berchanowski's pitch, swung on and missed. And that is the way you want to finish the inning if you're Gavin Berchanowski. And that'll be it for 2. Score 5-3 Wolfpack. We'll take a word from our sponsors here on the 98.9 Sports Stream.
Utegg's Body Shop in Corry is helping to bring you this broadcast. Along with collision repair and refinishing, Utegg offers frame straightening services. Located at 633 East Smith Street in Corry. Utegg's Body Shop.
Man, I loved playing high school sports growing up. And it's fun being a fan now, don't get me wrong, but sitting in the stands feels like I'm missing out on all the action, you know? I wanted to get back in the game, so I signed up to be a high school official. It takes me back to my playing days. I'm supporting students, and I get paid to make the big calls. Do you want to see the game up close? Sign up to become an official in New York at highschoolofficials.com.
Support for coverage of CSP baseball action on the Channel 98.9 Lictus Oil and Propane sports stream comes from JH Napa Auto Parts. Your local Napa store stocks auto parts, tools and equipment, and other items for heavy-duty trucks, marine, and farming equipment. Located at 955 North Center Street in Corry and NapaOnline.com.
Funding for this Channel 98.9 Sports Stream broadcast comes from Lictus Oil and Propane in Clymer. Family-owned Lictus Oil and Propane continues to supply liquids and fluids for agriculture, industry, and homeowners. Heating oil and propane services and off-and-on diesel fuel services are also offered. The Channel 98.9 Sports Stream thanks Lictus Oil and Propane for their continued support.
Back here in South Dayton in the about to be the top of the third inning. 5-3 Wolfpack, and not exactly the numbers pitch count wise. Either pitcher wanted after two. 57 pitches for Gavin Burchanowski and 58 pitches for Cam Howard. Howard's team trailing by 2, and the Wolfpack will be up to bat here momentarily, led off by their 5-hitter Isaiah Burkholder. Burkholder struck out back in the first, and he gets ready to step in here to get the third underway. Isaiah in the box now. And we'll see Howard's first pitch to him now. Outside for ball 1. Howard's pitch. Swung on and missed by Burkholder. 1-1. Outside, ball 2. Coach Herrick coaching Burkholder on pitch recognition, trying to see that breaking ball coming out of the pitcher's hand. 2-1 to Burkholder. Howard fires. Called strike. It's 2-2. The pitch nearly hits Burkholder, and the count is full. Here's the pitch. Called strike, and Burkholder goes down looking. That'll bring up Max White. Single back in the second. Yesterday he was 2 for 2 with a double and a single. He walked in the third and then was replaced in the fifth by Perry. Max an opportunity to keep the bat going here.
All right, 12, take for a ride, bud.
5-3 Wolfpack, 1 out here in the third. White steps in. Howard's first pitch to him, swung on, fouled off. And Max was a first pitch single last time he was up. The first pitch of the inning, actually. Howard delivered it, and Max sent it back towards center field. He swings in the first pitch here, but fouls it off. Now behind 0-1. Swings at the second pitch, gets a piece of that, and it's going to be into the right field for a single. A nice single on the ground there for Max White. He keeps the bat hot and then brings up Brady Phelps. Brady struck out in the second on 4 pitches. Brady, an opportunity to keep that Wolfpack offense hot here. Cameron Howard checks the runner. Now the pitch. And Phelps tries to lay down a bunt, pulls it back late. White gets to second safely as the ball gets away from the catcher. And the count is 1-0. Here's the pitch over Phelps's head for ball 2. So now 2-0. Phelps can be a little selective about the pitch. Howard checks the runner, and now he pitches. Brady Phelps takes a big swing, but comes up empty for strike 1. So now 2-1. The pitch, swung on, hit high in the air, being tracked by the third baseman, and he does not catch the ball. Phelps is safe at first.
All right, Howie, take it for a ride.
Error
bud.
there by the third baseman.
7.
And now McCaleb Anderson steps up with 2 runners on. So Brady Phelps skies one, and the third baseman did not track the ball well. Error on him, and the Wolfpack have 2 aboard. Howard set to pitch. Anderson takes the first for strike 1. Absolutely gorgeous day for baseball. A little chilly, but absolutely beautiful. A little bit of wind moving in from outfield to home plate. 0-1 to Anderson. He swings and fouls it off. He'll be behind 0-2 now.
All right, protect him, McCaleb.
Here's the pitch. High for ball 1. Anderson back in the box. The 1-2 delivery from Howard. High for ball 2. And the count is 2-2 now. Anderson hoping to get a piece of this one. Here's the pitch. Called strike on the outside edge will send him back to the dugout. And that brings up Johnny Abers with 2 out and 2 on. He walked back in the second. Walked and scored in the second.
All right, Ones, take it for a ride, bud.
We'll see what Abers can do here. Cameron Howard checks the runners. Here's the pitch. Outside, ball 1 to Abers. Abers gets the sign from Coach Hare. He's back in the box now. That pitch inside, ball 2. 2-0 count now for Johnny Abers. Has the opportunity to be selective here. The pitch, low, and it's 3-0. Have to absolutely assume the red light on here from Coach Hare. We'll see what Abers does with a 3-0 pitch. Here's the pitch. Strike. And it's 3-1. Real nice at bat here from Abers. Let's see if he can make something happen. Howard checks the runner. Here's the pitch. Outside, Abers a walk. Top of the lineup with 2 outs, and bases now loaded. Burchanowski singled back in the second, flew out in the first. A single here probably drives in 2 runs for the Wolfpack. Howard takes a look around the base path, and now he'll fire high for ball 1.
Good eye, Gap.
Burchanowski trying to help his own cause here as the pitcher. The pitch. He'll take that one for ball 2. Quickly ahead 2-0 now. Howard's pitch on the way. High, gets past the catcher. The runners take off, and a run will score for the Wolfpack here. White comes home safely. The other 2 runners both move up, and Burchanowski now ahead 3-0 in the count. 6-3 ball game. See what happens in the 3-0 pitch to Burchanowski's. Howard showing a little bit of control issues here in the third. He winds and fires. That one comes right down the middle of the plate for strike 1. Three-1 now. 2 out. Runners on second and third. That pitch way high and outside, and Burchanowski takes the trot down to first. That brings up Hinsdale. He's 1 for 2 on the day, keeping his .500 batting average intact. And now they're going to come have a chat with Howard. And I believe this will probably be the end of the day for him. He's racked up quite a few pitches as well. And having walked the last 2 batters, it will probably do it for him. Trying to decide what their path is going to be here as the Wolfpack meet at first and third to discuss the running options as the game resumes. So Pine Valley make the decision, and they'll keep Howard in the game for now. Howard facing the best batter CSP has to offer average-wise in Bryce Hinsdale, the lefty. He comes up with the bases loaded and 2 outs here in the third. Howard did strike him out back in the second, though. That pitch is a called strike on the outside half. (0-1) to Hinsdale.
Good eye.
Down low, and it's 1-1. The 1-1 pitch coming now from Howard. Hinsdale turns on it, gets it past the first baseman for a base knock. That'll score 1. They'll try for 2. Here comes the runner, and the throw is not going to be anywhere near in time, cut off by the first baseman. 2 RBI single by Bryce Hinsdale, and the Wolfpack keep the offense moving. So Dick Gatney's now coming up. 7-3 the score. Strike there, and Hinsdale gone to second that quickly. Oh, 1 to Katniss. There's the pitch, down in the dirt. Runners take off, and Burchanowski comes home for the Wolfpack. 8-3 now. Hinsdale moves over to third. Here's the pitch from Howard. Swung on and hit to the shortstop. Bounces off his glove. Hinsdale will leg it, or Hinsdale will come home. Katniss legs it out.
All right, Speeds, let's go.
9-3 Wolfpack. So Spiesman now, after a fly out in the first and a ground out in the second, comes up with Katniss on first and a 10-3 lead. First pitch to Spiesman. Katniss takes off for second. There's a throw, but Katniss is there standing up. So now a runner in scoring position for Spiesman. Here's the pitch. Swung on and fouled off. A 1-1 count for Spiesman. Getting coached up by Coach Hare while the umpire has a chat with the pitcher. Everyone's satisfied, heading back to where they belong, and we'll get this thing back underway. One to Spiesman. Katniss on second. 2 outs and 4-5 in here in the third. The pitch swung on and fouled off. One, 2 to Spiesman. Here's the pitch. Swung on, fouled off. Cam Howard checks the runner at second. Now he pitches. Spiesman swing and a miss. Drop third strike, and he's heading towards first. There goes the ball finally over there to get him. End of the inning with that strikeout. But not before the Wolfpack put 5 on the board and take a 10-3 lead halfway through the third here on the 98.9 Sports Stream.
Funding for this Channel 98.9 Sports Stream broadcast comes from Lictus Oil and Propane in Clymer. Family-owned Lictus Oil and Propane continues to supply liquids and fluids for agriculture, industry, and homeowners. Heating oil and propane services and off-and-on diesel fuel services are also offered. The Channel 98.9 Sports Stream thanks Lictus Oil and Propane for their continued support.
Financial support for this broadcast of CSP Baseball Play-by-Play on the Channel 98.9 Sports Stream is provided in part by Stone Audiology at 709 East Columbus Avenue in Corry. Also in Bradford, Northeast, and Kane, Pennsylvania, in Jamestown, Olean, Belmont, and Chaffee, New York. Phone 814-664-7070. Online at stoneaudiology.com.
CSP Wolfpack baseball coverage on the Channel 98.9 Lictus Oil and Propane Sports Stream is brought to you in part by Troyer's Greenhouse, now open for the season Monday through Saturday. Troyer's Greenhouse is located at 1669 Weeks Road, just 2 miles west of Panama. Go Wolfpack from Troyer's Greenhouse.
Coverage of Wolfpack baseball on the Channel 98.9 Sports Stream is provided in part by Whiteland Surveying in Clymer, providing land surveys for Chautauqua and Cattaraugus counties in New York and Erie, Warren, and Crawford counties in Pennsylvania. Phone 716-499-8410. Find them online at mwhitepls.com. The Channel 98.9 Sports Stream thanks Whiteland Surveying for their support.
A big third inning from the Wolfpack. Give them a 10-3 lead here as we head to the bottom of the third. Leadoff hitter is Howard, the pitcher. He gets a piece of that one, and it's fielded there cleanly in left field.
Good job, Brady.
First pitch, fly out to left field. Got things started quickly. Up next will be Herman. He walked back in the first. Big swing and a miss. .38 pitches that inning for Howard. 0-1. High for ball 1. So Howard at 96 for the day through 3 innings. Swing and a miss there. Count goes to 1-2 for Herman. Here's the pitch. High for ball 2. So I have to assume Howard's done. At 96, he can only throw 9 more pitches. That one hits the batter. That'll bring up Jackson. Jackson struck out back in the first. And with Herman a base runner after he walked back in the first, he'll be a base runner again here in the third. I pitch low. One-0 to Jackson. Swing and a miss. 1-1. Herman got a nice lead there and then got into his secondary. Thought he might try to steal second, but he did not. Berchanowski turns and fires behind the batter, but White is on it quickly. Herman takes off for second. No throw to be made. He's there safely. Wild pitch there from Gavin Berchanowski. Advances Herman to second. Now it's 2-1 to Jackson. That pitch blocked by White. He gets away from him, and Herman will move up to third.
All right, settle in, Gav. Let's go now, bud.
3-1 now the count to Jackson. Berchanowski's pitch. Outside, and he'll walk the batter. So now runners on the corners for Stewart. Stewart struck out back in the first. First pitch to Stewart. Outside for ball 1. .10-3 baseball game. Berchanowski, 1-0 pitch. Stewart tries to lay down a bunt. Cannot do so. Strike 1. So now the Wolfpack making a defensive adjustment in case a bunt is tried again. Here's the pitch. High for ball 2. 2-1. The pitch, called strike. And that sends Stewart back to the dugout. Oh, he's only 2 strikes, yeah? He was heading back to the dugout. He thought he struck out. He's back in the box now, 2-2. The pitch. That one will strike him out. And Lucarelli now. He was hit by a pitch back in the second. A wind kicking up from center field now. Lucarelli stepping in. Runners on the corners. 2 outs here in the third for Pine Valley. They trail 10-3. First pitch from Burchanowski, strike 1. Gavin winds and fires. That one's slapped back towards second base, fielded by Abers. He throws to first, and the side is retired. Nice inning from the Wolfpack defense. Their lead is 10-3, heading to the fourth here on the 98.9 Sports Stream.
Funding for this Channel 98.9 Sports Stream broadcast comes from Lictus Oil and Propane in Clymer. Family-owned Lictus Oil and Propane continues to supply liquids and fluids for agriculture, industry, and homeowners. Heating oil and propane services and off-and-on diesel fuel services are also offered. The Channel 98.9 Sports Stream thanks Lictus Oil and Propane for their continued support.
When the game is on the line, championship teams know the game plan. They communicate and work together to win. We all need a game plan to protect ourselves online. Talk to family and friends so they know how to stay safe too. Create strong passwords, turn on multi-factor authentication, update software, and recognize and report phishing, because online safety is not something you want to fumble. Get more game-winning tips at cisa.gov/secure-our-world. Then share them with family and friends.
Support for CSP Wolfpack baseball coverage is provided in part by Tina Dills, ERA Team VP licensed real estate agent, serving the Wolfpack listening area and all of Chautauqua County with real estate services for buyers, sellers, vacation rentals, and all relocation needs. For more information on how to get your move going, Tina can be reached at 716-397-7790. Tina Dills and the ERA Team VP agents wish the Wolfpack the best of luck.
Corry's only locally operated radio station is Channel 98.9. With your eerie weather, your favorite personalities.
Thank you so much for joining us on a Monday.
You see today local news, entertainment, and information around the clock. And Corry's Modern Rock. Channel 98.9, your one radio station.
And welcome back in here to a 10-3 CSP lead over Pine Valley in a CCAA Division II matchup between the second place and last place teams in the league. Wolfpack, a C school this year, and the Panthers, a D school. So not helping them in the class standings, but certainly helping the Wolfpack in the league if they are able to complete this win. 10-3 lead going into the fourth is a pretty good spot to be in. The Wolfpack have hit around in the third, and they were one batter away from hitting around in the second. So Burkholder, who led off the last inning, will lead off again here in the fourth. Well, unless they sub for him, which looks like they may actually sub for Isaiah here. We're waiting to see who's going to come back. Looks like they may have Mason Moore out of the dugout. And Moore's going to bat for Burkholder here. So Moore, the junior, get his first at bat of the game. Mason in the box now as a new pitcher for Maple Grove. As I said, Howard had pretty much reached his limit on pitches. First pitch, outside, called strike. There's a ball. The pitch, outside, ball 2. The pitch, inside for a ball. Two count for Moore. The pitch. Oh, he strikes out there. Max White now. So Trent Ivatt, the lefty, he took over on the mound. First pitch to Max White, a strike. That one, wild pitch, comes all the way to the fence. Hopefully Max White can get some timing here on Trent Ivatt. 1-1 to White. The pitch, outside. White took a swing at it anyway, and it's 1-2. The pitch, swung on and fouled off by White. Max battling here. He's 2 for 2 on the day with 2 singles. Here's the pitch. That's a drop, strike 3. Max takes off. The throw to first coming. Pulls the first baseman off the bag, and Max will be there safely. Max now to second on the overthrow. Max heading to third now on another overthrow. So they let the drop, strike 3 turn into a runner on third. And Brady Phelps now. Brady reached by error back in the third, struck out back in the second. He now has a runner on third and a chance to extend the Wolfpack lead. Here's the pitch. High. Snagged that one, did the catcher. Ball 1. Cam Howard now the catcher. That one he snags high again. Howard started the game as the pitcher. He went 3 innings for the Panthers. Gave up 10 runs. That one way outside from Ivatt. And it's 3-0 to Phelps. Strike there. 5 Ks for Howard in his appearance. Not terrible. 3-1 to Phelps, and the count is loaded as that one gets past him for strike 2. Swung and a miss. And with Phelps sent back to the dugout, that brings up the 8 spot, which is going to be Mason Groders. He swings at the first pitch and misses. Groders coming on for Anderson. Swing and a miss there for Mason. And he's 0-2. White on third, hoping that Groders can get a piece of this one. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, and they'll sit him down as well. And the side is retired. Another word from our sponsors here on the 98.9 Sports Stream.
Funding for this Channel 98.9 Sports Stream broadcast comes from Lictus Oil and Propane in Clymer. Family-owned Lictus Oil and Propane continues to supply liquids and fluids for agriculture, industry, and homeowners. Heating oil and propane services and off-and-on diesel fuel services are also offered. The Channel 98.9 Sports Stream thanks Lictus Oil and Propane for their continued support.
Support for Wolfpack baseball coverage on the Channel 98.9 Sports Stream is provided by Countertop Solutions in Clymer. Go Wolfpack from Countertop Solutions.
CSP baseball coverage on the Channel 98.9 Sports Stream is provided in part by Steve Daniels Electric and Flicks Heating and Plumbing and Air Conditioning, located at 147 East Main Street in Corry. They offer residential and light commercial new services, as well as electrical repairs, well pumps, and water conditioning systems. Phone 814-665-6034. Online at flicksheatingplumbingandac.com.
School sports are played by humans, coached by humans, and officiated by humans. So the next time you're sitting in the stands at a school athletic event, please remember this and maintain your humanity, especially when it comes to judging and critiquing athletes, coaches, and officials. Please show your fellow humans some respect. They'll appreciate your empathy.
This message presented by NISFA and the New York State Athletic Administrators Association.
And welcome back in here to South Dayton, New York, a 10-3 lead for the Wolfpack as we head to the bottom of the fourth. Gavin Burchanowski, 75 pitches so far through 3 innings. He's getting ready to get the fourth underway. He'll start off with the 9 batter, that's Bell, and then the top of the lineup for Pine Valley. Wolfpack, a couple substitutions in their last inning offensively. Moore hit for Burkholder and struck out. Groders hit for Anderson and struck out. Phelps also struck out. That was the 3 outs of the inning. White reached by error and then stole second and third, but no runs added in that bottom of the fourth or top of the fourth. So now we head to the bottom half of that inning. Wolfpack ahead 7 here, not enough to get that 10-run rule in the 5th at this point. Burchanowski's first pitch to Bell, and it hits him in the hand. Call it a ball, and they said it didn't hit him. All right, I thought I got him in the hand, but I guess not. 1-0 to Bell. Called strike. 1-1. Burchanowski winds and fires. Strike 2. And it's 1-2 now for Bell. The pitch. Swung on and missed, and he sends Bell back to the dugout. That'll take us back to the top of the Pine Valley lineup. Cameron Slady walked in the first and struck out in the second. First pitch to Slade. Called strike. Burchanowski gets his sign and delivers. Low for ball 1. So 1-1 now for Slade. He slaps that one to first base, fielded cleanly by Hinsdale, and that is an out. Second at bat that the Pine Valley bats have actually slapped the ball into the infield, both resulting in outs. The last one was slapped at Johnny Abers. I'll bring up Jarrett Myers. He reached by error in the first and fielder's choice in the second. That one high at his head for ball 1. Two down here in the bottom of the fourth. He swings on that, and able to stop it is Abers, but no way he could pick that one. It's going to be a single for Myers. Only the second hit of the game for the Panthers, and Trent Ivett, who's come on to pitch now for them, will come back up to the plate, hitting in the 3-hole. He had a triple in the first and a strikeout in the second. He gets a piece of that one, but it trends foul and will be foul. 0-1 to Ivet. Myers on first. 2 outs here in the inning. The pitch, swung and a miss, and it's 0-2. So 0-2 to Ivet. Burchanowski getting his sign, taking his time. Now he's ready. And the pitch, swung on, hit high in the air, wind blowing at the same time, being tracked and dropped in left field. The runner turns, and they'll stay at the corners. Another one where the wind plays a factor, but it's going to be an error on the left fielder. So with that, Howard will come up to bat, the 4-hole hitter. He grounded out in the first, flew out in the third. He comes up now with 2 outs and runners on the corners. Cam Howard stepping in. First pitch to him, swung on, fouled off to the left side. Burchanowski trying to get out of the fourth here. Winds and fires, swing and a miss. There's the throw to second. Not in time to get the runner as Ivet reaches second safely. But 0-2 to Howard. Winds and fires outside for ball 1. Burchanowski ahead 1-2 in the count. 2 outs. Runners on second and third. Here's the pitch to Howard. He gets a piece in the infield. Going to be fielded by Burchanowski. Fires to first. And it was in time. Very close call there, but just in time for the 1-3 ground out to end the inning. We'll take you to another word from our sponsors here on the 98.9 Sports Stream.
Coverage of CSP Wolfpack Baseball is brought to you in part by Caflisch Pallet and Wood Services in Clymer, a leading provider of new heat-treated and recycled pallets and wood services since 1993. Find them online at caflischpallet.com. Phone 716-355-4354. Caflisch Pallet and Wood Services wishes the Wolfpack the best of luck this season.
Support for Wolfpack Baseball on the Lictus Oil and Propane Sports Stream is provided by Mosher Carpeting at 8631 East Main Street in Clymer. Mosher's has carpeting and all types of flooring, serving the area for over 27 years. Online at mosherscarpeting.com.
Support for coverage of CSP Baseball on the Channel 98.9 Lictus Oil and Propane Sports Stream is provided by Triple E Manufacturing in Sherman. Triple E offers equine products, promotional items, embroidery, and printing services. 800-295-4282 or online at tripleemanufacturing.com.
Wolfpack Baseball on the Channel 98.9 Lictus Oil and Propane Sports Stream is provided in part by Necker's Company General Store, providing Clymer with groceries, apparel, gift items, and so much more for over 100 years. The Channel 98.9 Sports Stream thanks Necker's Company General Store for their support. Funding for this broadcast on the Channel 98.9 Lictus Oil and Propane Sports Stream is provided in part by J. Edwards Insurance. With offices at 9 East Main Street in Panama and 800 West 3rd Street in Jamestown, J. Edwards Insurance is an independent insurance service providing auto, business, farm, and homeowners insurance. We treat you like family. Online at jedwardsinsurance.com. Best of luck to the Wolfpack this season from J. Edwards Insurance, serving New York and Pennsylvania since 1957.
Top of the 5th coming up here in this CCAA Division II matchup. The Wolfpack leading 10-3 and about to have the bats going once again as they'll have Johnny Abers, the 9-hitter, leading off, and then the top of the lineup due up. The Wolfpack, if they can extend this lead by 3 more, could potentially end the game in 5 innings with the 10-run rule. Otherwise, this thing will keep going here with a 7-run lead. Abers ready to go now. He steps in to face Trent Ivet, who came on to pitch after 3 innings. First pitch called strike. Oh, 1 to Abers. Low for ball 1. Johnny walked twice today in the second and third. It's now 1-1 to him. Here's the pitch. He swings and misses, and he's behind 1-2 in the count. The 1-2. Inside for ball 2. And it's 2-2 to Abers. The pitch. Down in the dirt, and the count goes full. Johnny Abers doing a good job running that count full after being behind 1-2. And now the payoff pitch. Ivet gets his sign. There's the pitch. Low, and Abers will walk for a 3rd time today. Comes back from a 1-2 count to get walked. And now the top of the lineup for the Wolfpack. Gavin Burchanowski, who's been pitching very well today. 91 pitches through 4 innings. And I think he's got 6 Ks so far. He'll try to add to the offense here. Ivet's first pitch to him, high for ball 1. Offensively, Burchanowski has not been a slouch today either. A fly out in the first, a single in the second, and a walk in the third. He's ahead 1-0 now with a runner on first. Swings and fouls that one off. Gavin a little late to that baseball and fouls it off over the visiting dugout. 1-1 the count. Abers takes a nice lead off first. There's the pitch. He's going to run. The throw to second is behind the runner, and he's safe. Abers steals second on that play. 1-2 now the count. Burchanowski waits for the pitch. Here it comes. He swings and misses, and down goes Burchanowski. Hinsdale now, 2 for 3 on the day, 2 singles and a strikeout. Hitting about 550-ish on the year. I lost count during this game, but he's only improved that number so far today. First pitch to the lefty, way outside for ball 1. So a runner on second, 1 out here in the 5th. The Wolfpack leading 10-3. The pitch, way outside again. 2-0 to Hinsdale. Tate Catney's chirping his own teammate from the dugout. And Hinsdale's ready for the 2-0 pitch. Low for ball 3. Nothing anywhere near the zone so far in this at bat. Ivet behind 3-0 has to throw a strike to Hinsdale now. The pitch high, and he'll walk Bryce. That brings up Tate Catney's. Tate has reached base on all 3 attempts today. A single in the first, reached by error in the second, and reached by error in the third. Tate has runners on first and second with 1 out here in the 5th. Ivet checks the runners. Now the pitch. Catney is swinging a miss. Strike 1. Tate back in the box now. The pitch. Swing and a miss again. 0-2. Tate Catney's behind 0-2 now. The pitch. He fouls that one back to stay alive. (0-2) to Tate. Ivet's pitch outside and low for ball 1. Ivett's pitch, high and outside for ball 2. And the count now 2-2. Tate very patient at the plate here, taking 2 balls after being down 0-2. Trent Ivett gets his sign. Here's the pitch. Fouled off by Katniss. About to see the 7th pitch of this at bat. Here's the pitch. Tate swings and has a piece of it towards left field. It's going to fall in behind the third baseman. They're going to score at least 1 on this. Here comes Abers. And the Wolfpack extend the lead as Johnny Abers comes home on the Katniss single. Katniss double, sorry. And that brings up Spiesman with runners on second and third. Spiesman flew out in the first, ground out in the second, struck out in the third. But he seems to find himself up to bat in big situations, and he does once again here, leading 11-3 with runners on second and third. The first pitch to Spiesman, called strike. Pitch, swung on and missed, 0-2. Fouled off by Spiesman. All right, Spiesman now 0-2. The pitch, way outside. Called strike, way out there. Interesting call by the umpire. Strike zone a mile wide there. Isaiah Burkholder now with 2 outs and 2 on, and 1 in here in the 5th. First pitch, he swings and misses. Wolfpack leading 11-3. If Burkholder could get a base knock here, they could be up by 10. That one way high and gets past the catcher, and they'll score a run there. And almost got a chance to score a second as the throw from the catcher back to the pitcher got away from him as well. But Katniss will stay at third. 2 in now. That makes it 12-3. The pitch. Low for a ball. 2-1 count to Burkholder. He has Katniss on third. 2 outs here in the 5th. The pitch outside and Burkholder swings. 2-2. The pitch. Called strike, and they'll send Burkholder back to the dugout to end the inning, but not before the Wolfpack add 2. We'll head to the bottom of the 5th in a 12-3 ball game here on the 98.9 Sports Stream.
Funding for this Channel 98.9 Sports Stream broadcast comes from Lictus Oil and Propane in Clymer. Family-owned, Lictus Oil and Propane continues to supply liquids and fluids for agriculture, industry, and homeowners. Heating oil and propane services and off-and-on diesel fuel services are also offered. The Channel 98.9 Sports Stream thanks Lictus Oil and Propane for their continued support.
Support for Wolfpack baseball coverage on the Channel 98.9 Sports Stream is provided by Countertop Solutions in Clymer. Go Wolfpack from Countertop Solutions.
CSP baseball coverage on the Channel 98.9 Sports Stream is provided in part by Steve Daniels Electric and Flicks Heating and Plumbing and Air Conditioning, located at 147 East Main Street in Corry. They offer residential and light commercial new services, as well as electrical repairs, well pumps, and water conditioning systems. Phone 814-665-6034. Online at flicksheatingplumbingandac.com.
School sports are played by humans, coached by humans, and officiated by humans. So the next time you're sitting in the stands at a school athletic event, please remember this and maintain your humanity, especially when it comes to judging and critiquing athletes, coaches, and officials. Please show your fellow humans some respect. They'll appreciate your empathy.
This message presented by NISFA and the New York State Athletic Administrators Association.
And welcome back here to South Dayton. 12-3 Wolfpack. Pitching change for the Pack. Johnny Abers coming on to finish this one. As Gavin Burchanowski goes 4 innings for the Pack today, giving up 3 runs. And in that time, he had 6 strikeouts. Not a bad day for Gavin. I don't think he gave up very many hits, just 2, I believe. 1. Just 2 hits against Gavin. Not a bad day. A little bit wild. Hit a pitcher. He hit a guy. Had a few errors. I actually hit 2 batters. He walked 3. So Abers now, the first time we're seeing him pitch, as he will get the 5-6-7 from the Panthers. That's Herman, Jackson, and Stewart. Herman up first, walked in the first, got hit by a pitch in the third. He'll step in now to face Johnny Abers. First pitch, a ball. Johnny ready to deliver. Ball 2. And it's 2-0. Abers delivers over the batter's head for ball 3. 3-0 count now. The sophomore now in the hole. 3-0. Abers winds and fires. Nearly hits the batter. He'll walk Herman. That'll bring up Jackson. Jackson struck out in the first, walked in the third. He comes up here in the 5th, his team trailing 12-3. Abers gets the sign. Here's the pitch. Swung on, and Spiesman tried to spear it, but he couldn't get it. It falls into left field for a base hit. So now runners on second and first for Stewart, the 7-hitter. 2 Ks today for him. And maybe not. Maybe they're going to sub him out here. They are. So Stewart not going to be the batter. Instead, Owen Honey. First pitch to him, strike 1. And that's the first strike I believe we've seen from Abers. 0-1 to Honey. Ball. And it's 1-1. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed, and the count goes to 1-2. Herman on second, Jackson on first. No outs here in the 5th, but Honey behind 1-2 to Johnny Abers. Johnny gets his sign, checks the runner, and delivers. Swing and a miss for Honey. He'll go down swinging for the first out of the inning. That should bring up Lucarelli, and it will. They are not going to sub him out. Lucarelli reached by a hit by pitch in the 2nd and ground out in the 3rd. Abers set to pitch, and there's the first one to Lucarelli. Strike. 0-1 the count now. The pitch. Lucarelli gets another strike there. Attempted bunt. 0-2 to Lucarelli. Abers winds and fires over his head for ball one. One, two. And that'll be a strikeout for Lucarelli. Bell now, the 9-hitter, will come up after 2 straight Ks for Abers. Pitch is outside for ball one. Abers' pitch, swung on and missed by Bell. 1-1. The 1-1 to Bell. High for ball two. Everyone kind of held their breath on that one, thinking it was right on the edge. The umpire says no ball. 2-1. Swing and a miss. Counts now 2-2. Can Abers get a third straight strike here? Third straight strikeout here. Johnny sets and fires. Swing and a miss, and he sets down his third straight batter. Abers working quickly to get out of the inning, and now we'll head to the 6th with a 12-3 score here on the 98.9 Sports Stream.
Coverage of CSP Wolfpack Baseball is brought to you in part by Caflisch Pallet and Wood Services in Clymer, a leading provider of new heat-treated and recycled pallets and wood services since 1993. Find them online at caflischpallet.com. Phone 716-355-4354. Caflisch Pallet and Wood Services wishes the Wolfpack the best of luck this season.
Support for Wolfpack Baseball on the Lictus Oil and Propane Sports Stream is provided by Mosher Carpeting at 8631 East Main Street in Clymer. Mosher's has carpeting and all types of flooring, serving the area for over 27 years. Online at mosherscarpeting.com.
Support for coverage of CSP Baseball on the Channel 98.9 Lictus Oil and Propane Sports Stream is provided by Triple E Manufacturing in Sherman. Triple E offers equine products, promotional items, embroidery, and printing services. 800-295-4282 or online at tripleemanufacturing.com.
Wolfpack Baseball on the Channel 98.9 Lictus Oil and Propane Sports Stream is provided in part by Necker's Company General Store, providing Clymer with groceries, apparel, gift items, and so much more for over 100 years. The Channel 98.9 Sports Stream thanks Necker's Company General Store for their support. Funding for this broadcast on the Channel 98.9 Lictus Oil and Propane Sports Stream is provided in part by J. Edwards Insurance. With offices at 9 East Main Street in Panama and 800 West 3rd Street in Jamestown, J. Edwards Insurance is an independent insurance service provider.
And welcome back in here to a 12-3 ball game as we head to the 6th inning. Max White, the leadoff batter. He swings and fouls that pitch off. Max is 2 for 2 on the day with 2 singles, and he did reach by error on the third at bat. Swing and a miss there for Max. He's behind 0-2. So the Wolfpack leading by 9. Not enough to get that 10-run limit here at the end of the 5th. So we go to the 6th, and they'll try to extend that lead. That pitch is high for ball one. Ivet set to throw the 1-2. Swing and a miss by Max White. He'll go down swinging for the first out of the 6th. Brady Phelps now. Brady, 2 strikeouts and a reach by error so far today. Ivett's first pitch to Phelps. Swing and a miss. Strike 1 for Brady. Here's the pitch. Inside for ball 1. 1-1 to Phelps now. Swing and a miss. And the count's 1-2. Groder's on deck for the Wolfpack. Here's the pitch to Phelps. Called, strike 3. 2 up, 2 down. And Groders will try to break that habit. He struck out his first at bat when he replaced Anderson back in the 4th. First pitch to Groders. Nearly hits him. Mason hacks at that one for strike 1. 1-1. Called, strike way on the outside edge. And that strike zone is massive here in the 6th inning. 1-2 to Groders. Called strike on that outside again. And 3 up, 3 down for the Pack here in the 6th. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th now. 12-3 the game here on the 98.9 Sports Stream.
Utegg's Body Shop in Corry is helping to bring you this broadcast. Along with collision repair and refinishing, Utegg offers frame straightening services. Located at 633 East Smith Street in Corry. Utegg's Body Shop.
Man, I loved playing high school sports growing up. And it's fun being a fan now, don't get me wrong, but sitting in the stands feels like I'm missing out on all the action, you know? I wanted to get back in the game, so I signed up to be a high school official. It takes me back to my playing days. I'm supporting students, and I get paid to make the big calls. Do you want to see the game up close? Sign up to become an official in New York at highschoolofficials.com.
Support for coverage of CSP baseball action on the Channel 98.9 Lictus Oil and Propane sports stream comes from JH Napa Auto Parts. Your local Napa store stocks auto parts, tools and equipment, and other items for heavy-duty trucks, marine, and farming equipment. Located at 955 North Center Street in Corry and NapaOnline.com.
Funding for this Channel 98.9 Sports Stream broadcast comes from Lictus Oil and Propane in Clymer. Family-owned Lictus Oil and Propane continues to supply liquids and fluids for agriculture, industry, and homeowners. Heating oil and propane services and off-and-on diesel fuel services are also offered. The Channel 98.9 Sports Stream thanks Lictus Oil and Propane for their continued support.
And welcome back in here, South Dayton, New York. A little bit of wind blowing straight in our face as we get ready to go to the bottom of the 6th here. Johnny Abers throws his final warm-up pitch, and we're ready to get it started with a 12-3 ball game. Top of the lineup for the Panthers. As Cameron Slade will get ready to step in. Pitches for Ivett through 2. I'll tally up his 3 strikeouts in the last inning. First pitch from Abers is inside for ball 1 to Slade. 61 through 3 for Ivet. That one swung at above the batter's head and caught by the shortstop, Katniss, for out number 1. Fly out to Tate is the first out of the inning for Pine Valley, and now Myers reached by error in the first, fielder's choice in the second, and singled in the fourth. First pitch, he swings on it, heads towards left field, and backing up and making the play is Katniss. 2 straight flyouts to Tate, and there's 2 outs here in the 6th. Trying Ivet now. Get a triple back in the first to get things started for his team. Really scored 2 runs because of that triple. The other 3 on the board. He was the 3rd run he scored himself. That pitch outside for ball 1. Ivet struck out in the second and then reached by error in the 4th. He's been pitching since the 4th inning. That pitch high. As I mentioned, 61 pitches through 3 innings, not terrible numbers. And the 1-2-3 inning in the 6th sure helped him. He's ahead 2-0 in the count. Swings on that one and fouls it off. Abers attempting to battle back here against Ivet. 2-1 the count now. Abers pitch. High for ball 3. And it's a 3-1 count now. Johnny Abers winds and fires behind the batter, and he'll walk Ivet. Howard now. 0 for 3, 2 groundouts and a flyout so far. He'll come up with 2 outs and a runner on first, trailing 12-3 here in the 6th. Abers checks the runner first and the throw about a second behind the tag. Abers fires, runner takes off, White throws down to second, not in time, and Ivet is safe at second. Count 1-0 to Howard. The pitch. Oh, another ball there, so the count now 2-0. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. 2-1 count. The pitch. Swing and a miss. 2-2. Ball there, and the count goes full. Abers try to dial up something nice here for the payoff pitch. He delivers. Howard swings and a miss. And the inning is over on that nice pitch from Johnny Abers. We'll head to the top of the 7th here momentarily. Here on the 98.9 Sports Stream.
Funding for this Channel 98.9 Sports Stream broadcast comes from Lictus Oil and Propane in Clymer. Family-owned Lictus Oil and Propane continues to supply liquids and fluids for agriculture, industry, and homeowners. Heating oil and propane services and off-and-on diesel fuel services are also offered. The Channel 98.9 Sports Stream thanks Lictus Oil and Propane for their continued support.
Financial support for this broadcast of CSP Baseball Play-by-Play on the Channel 98.9 Sports Stream is provided in part by Stone Audiology at 709 East Columbus Avenue in Corry. Also in Bradford, Northeast, and Kane, Pennsylvania. In Jamestown, Olean, Belmont, and Chaffee, New York. Phone 814-664-7070. Online at stoneaudiology.com.
CSP Wolfpack Baseball coverage on the Channel 98.9 Lictus Oil and Propane Sports Stream is brought to you in part by Troyer's Greenhouse, now open for the season Monday through Saturday. Troyer's Greenhouse is located at 1669 Weeks Road, just 2 miles west of Panama. Go Wolfpack from Troyer's Greenhouse.
Coverage of Wolfpack Baseball on the Channel 98.9 Sports Stream is provided in part by Whiteland Surveying in Clymer, providing land surveys for Chautauqua and Cattaraugus counties in New York and Erie, Warren, and Crawford counties in Pennsylvania. Phone 716-499-8410. Find them online at mwhitepls.com. The Channel 98.9 Sports Stream thanks Whiteland Surveying for their support.
And welcome back in here to this CCAA Division II baseball game between CSP and Pine Valley, and a 12-3 lead for the Wolfpack as we head to the top of the 7th. And the Wolfpack all but assured to continue their win streak here unless they have something catastrophic here happen. And that win would be win number 6 on the year, number 6 of the win streak. And Pine Valley would fall to 0-9 on the season, should that be the result. The Wolfpack, if they're able to conquer this game and get this win, will move into sole possession of second place ahead of Brockton, at least for now. Johnny Abers will be the leadoff batter here in the 7th inning, hitting in the 9 hole, and then it'll be the top of the lineup for the Wolfpack. Abers steps in, Ivett's pitch, swing and a miss. Johnny, 3 walks today for him. Swings at that one, fouls it off. And 0-2 now to Abers. Ivett's pitch, outside for ball 1. One, 2 to Abers. Outside, ball 2. 2-2 now. Johnny fouls that one off. Almost gets Gavin Berchanowski over in the on-deck circle. Abers back in the box now. The pitch. Swing and a miss, and down goes Abers. That'll bring up Berchanowski. Gavin is 2 for 4 on the day. Or sorry, 1 for 3 on the day. A fly out in the first, a single in the second, a walk in the third, and a strikeout in the 5th. Here in the 7th, he comes up with a 12-3 lead and 1 out. The pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 1. The 0-1 to Berchanowski. Swing and a miss. Oh, 2 pitch from Ivett. Outside. 1-2 to Gavin Berchanowski now. The pitch. Called strike. And Berchanowski heads back to the dugout. That'll bring up Hinsdale. Hinsdale's 2 for 3 on the day. Single, strikeout, single, and a walk so far. First pitch, swung on, fouled back by Bryce. Bryce back in the box now. The pitch. He slaps that one towards third base. And the third baseman drops it, makes the throw, not in time. Bryce is there safely. So Hinsdale on first. Catnese now. Will come up for his 5th at bat of the game. A single in the first, reached by error in the second and third, and a double in the 5th for Tate so far today. That pitch is high for ball 1. Low for ball 2. Ivet behind 2-0 now to Catnese. Here's the pitch. Outside, ball 3. Hinsdale takes off. He's there safely standing up. 3-0 to Catnese. Strike 1 there. 3-1 to Tate. He'll walk. And that'll bring up Spiesman. Andrew Spiesman comes up for his 5th attempt of the day. A fly out in the first, a ground out in the second, strikeouts in the 3rd and 5th. Andrew, with 2 runners on and 2 outs here in the 7th, will have his 5th try at the batting today. First pitch to Spiesman. Almost hit him. Ball 1. Ivet trying to get out of this 7th. That pitch is low for ball 2. (2-0) now. Ivet behind Spiesman. Here's the pitch. Low, bounces, and both runners will advance. And for a moment, Hinsdale looked at home, thought about it, and thought not to test Howard. He'll stay at 3rd for now. 3-0 to Andrew Spiesman. The pitch. He swings and fouls it off. (3-1) to Spiesman. The pitch. Low. They'll walk him. And home comes Hinsdale. Burkholder now. Swing and a miss. Runners on the corners, 2 outs. 1 in here in the 7th. Strike 2 there to Burkholder. He's behind 0-2 now. Here's the pitch to Isaiah. Swing and a miss. That one sticks back here in the backstop. Drop strike 3. Will score a run. Max White now. 2 singles, 1 in the second, 1 in the third, reached by error in the fourth, and struck out in the sixth. He comes up with 2 outs, 2 on. First pitch to him is a ball. (14-3) the score here. Oh, sorry, 13-3 is the score. Are they doing a running substitution? They sub Daniel Radlecki in as a runner for Spiesman at second. So Radlecki, the pinch runner. White will try to move him around. (1-0) to White. Pitch high, ball 2. Pitch low for ball 3. 3-0 to White. And they'll walk him. Here comes Brady Phelps now. Brady reached by error in the third and struck out 3 times today. His 5th at bat upcoming. Bases loaded, 2 outs here for Phelps in the 7th. Swing and a miss. Strike 1. Oh, 1. That's high for ball 1. 1-1 to Phelps. Groder's on deck. That's outside. 2-1 count. The pitch. 3-1 count. A ball here walks in a run. Called strike and the count goes full. Now Phelps with the full count against Ivet. He's walked. (14-3). Mason Groders now. Bases loaded. Swing and a miss. Oh, 1 to Groders. Swing and a miss. 0-2 count now for Mason. The pitch, fouled back. (0-2). Called strike, and the side is retired. We'll go to the bottom of the 7th momentarily here on the 98.9 Sports Stream.
Funding for this Channel 98.9 Sports Stream broadcast comes from Lictus Oil and Propane in Clymer. Family-owned Lictus Oil and Propane continues to supply liquids and fluids for agriculture, industry, and homeowners. Heating oil and propane services and off-and-on diesel fuel services are also offered. The Channel 98.9 Sports Stream thanks Lictus Oil and Propane for their continued support.
When the game is on the line, championship teams know the game plan. They communicate and work together to win. We all need a game plan to protect ourselves online. Talk to family and friends so they know how to stay safe too. Create strong passwords, turn on multi-factor authentication, update software, and recognize and report phishing, because online safety is not something you want to fumble. Get more game-winning tips at CISA.gov/secure-our-world. Then share them with family and friends.
Support for CSP Wolfpack baseball coverage is provided in part by Tina Dills, ERA Team VP licensed real estate agent, serving the Wolfpack listening area and all of Chautauqua County with real estate services for buyers, sellers, vacation rentals, and all relocation needs. For more information on how to get your move going, Tina can be reached at 716-397-7790. Tina Dills and the ERA Team VP agents wish the Wolfpack the best of luck.
Corry's only locally operated radio station is Channel 98.9. With your eerie weather, your favorite personalities.
Thank you so much for joining us on a Monday.
You see today local news, entertainment, and information around the clock. And Corry's Modern Rock. Channel 98.9, your one radio station.
Bottom of the 7th here in South Dayton, 15-3 Wolfpack, as the Pine Valley Panthers are down to their final 3 outs here in this one. Herman, the 5-hitter, will lead off. Jackson and Honey, who was the sub for Stewart, are expected to do up in this inning. Johnny Abers still on the mound for the Wolfpack. He threw 18 pitches his first inning. (14) his second inning. So he's at 32 on the day so far. And he's ready to face Herman now. First pitch to Herman. High for ball 1. (15-3 Wolfpack. Abers trying to get out of the 7th inning. Strike there. 1-1 count. The pitch to Herman. Almost hit him. Ball 2. Abers now set to fire. Here it is. Swing and a miss, and the count goes to 2-2. The pitch called, strike 3, and down goes Herman. 2 outs left. Here's Jackson now. Jackson struck out in the first, walked in the 3rd, and singled in the 5th. First pitch to him inside for ball 1. High for ball 2. Here's the pitch. Fouled back. 2-1 count for Jackson. Abers winds and fires. Swung on and fouled off. Count goes to 2-2. just a reminder, coming up here in about an hour and a half will be about 2.5 hours, 4 o'clock, will be the Pit Road Show at State Line Speedway. Ball there, loads the count up. So the Pit Road Show, we tested it out at practice a couple weeks ago. Here's the pitch, swung on and missed, and he'll send Jackson to the dugout. But this will be the first official week of the Pit Road Show as State Line has their 69th opening night in the history of the track tonight. So join us for that on the 98.9 Sports Stream. And then starting Monday, 6 straight days of CSP baseball. Here's Honey now. It's called strike there. Honey represents the final out of the game for the Panthers, should he not reach base. 0-1, Abers dealing. Swing and a miss, and it's 0-2. 1 strike left in the ball game for the Panthers. Abers throws it over his head, and it's actually fouled. Hit the bat. (0-2) still. Abers winds and fires. Swing and a miss, and that'll do it for the Panthers. The Wolfpack gets the job done here in South Dayton. A 6-game winning streak now for CSP as they win this one 15-3 in 7 innings. We'll see you at the Pit Road Show later on today or on Monday as the Wolfpack baseball season continues. Thank you for joining me, Josh Hosier, on the 98.9 Sports Stream. Have a great afternoon.
Thanks for listening to this broadcast of CSP Wolfpack Baseball on the Channel 98.9 Lictus Oil and Propane Sports Stream at channel989.org. This broadcast is presented by Countertop Solutions, Caflisch Pallet and Wood Supply, Triple E Manufacturing, Necker's Company General Store, Daniels Electric and Flicks Heating and Plumbing, Troyer's Greenhouse, by Stone Audiology, by Whiteland Surveying, J.H. Napa Auto Parts, Mosher Carpeting, J. Edwards Insurance, Utegg's Body Shop, by Lictus Oil and Propane, and Tina Dills, ERA Team VP Licensed Real Estate Agent. Tune in next time for all the action of CSP Wolfpack Baseball.